This week on Data Center News Asia, we've got a few stories. Brookfield's Asset Management and Digital Realty have broken ground in India. DCI data centers have a new CEO. Yotta are developing in Bangladesh. Singtel have broken ground in Thailand. And PLDT are expanding their capacity in Manila. And I also got I Squared Capital are investing in edge data centers in Europe. A few headlines there. Out of breath now. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, as you can probably tell, Rhys has been watching YouTube videos on how you should structure these, and he thinks the headline should go first like that. So,
well, they didn't mention anything about wearing sports jerseys on
Six Nations weekend. Anyway, let's get cracking. Where are we starting?
So I think the first one was Brookfield and Digital Realty, or BAM Digital Realty, and this is their campus. They've broken ground, 20 megawatt. Is the first stage?
Yeah, 20 megawatt first phase in Chennai. So I believe the campus can scale up to 100 megawatts. Name MAA 10, which I presume is after Madras. Yeah, so again, there's also to talk about Chennai being the connectivity hub for South Asia, which I think makes sense, obviously, with the landing stations there. This is after a bit of a false start last year. This is the DRT BAM DRT's first development in India. Obviously, they're looking at building a pan-India platform. But yeah, congratulations to the team. Chennai is obviously a very hot market. They're in the kind of the Ambattur cluster, which has seen quite a lot of development over the last little while, and I think we'll continue to see more. So yeah, good luck. Seems like a good project.
Well, they announced the JV back in 2021, so this is now officially off to the races.
Yeah, and they've had a team in place in India for quite a while. Met with them all last time I was there. So yeah.
Well, speaking of Brookfield Asset Management, the Pan Asia platform they have is DCI Data Centers, and they have a new CEO. So big congrats to Nicholas Tope.
Yeah, Nicholas joins them. I think officially his first day was the 1st of February. And Nicholas, for anyone who doesn't know, was the CEO of STT, STT's data center division in North Asia. So I'm guessing the Japan project, the South Korea project, the two I think off the top of my head. Anyway, but pretty significant projects would have been under his remit. DCI have made great strides in Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, I guess they're looking to kind of accelerate the growth through to Greater Asia.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it should be congratulations to him, congratulations to them. It's a statement of intent for them, and I think this is the logical step forward, I guess, career-wise, from the regional CEO into the platform CEO. So I wish him good luck with the hire. And I guess the next story is a new market for me, and I was having a bit of fun looking at the currency translations here. But this is Yotta expanding out of India. And from what I could tell, they're investing 191 million, though I've written $1,000 onto this site here in Dhaka.
Yeah, well, Rhys had a lot of fun trying to figure out crore, and
it was crore to
lakhs, and I don't know.
I think I got that. Correct me in the comments if that is not the amount. It was 20 billion Bangladeshi taka and 191 million USD. But the news was reported in India, so we had to from crore first.
Yeah, so comments if we're wildly wrong on that. Yeah, but it's Dhaka, a massively underserved market. We have looked into it in the past. Not a huge amount to actually report there in terms of DCs. This is 28.8 megawatts. I think in two phases. So I assume they're doing 14.4 and 14.4. Slightly confusing, the press release, because they say the investments in the next 4 to 6 years, but then they said the facility would be ready financial year 2024. So I need to clarify that exactly with Yotta. But Bangladesh is an exciting market. It's one of the few, I suppose, frontier markets left in APAC. 170 million people with a very young demographic. So it's definitely a market that's going to be of interest moving forward.
Well, I've heard a few companies talking about it recently. I think it's off the back of some renewed government support there for digital infrastructure. They're offering various grants and incentives to bring in investment. So, yeah, definitely one to watch, as you normally say.
Yes, absolutely.
Thailand next, is it? This is the Singtel groundbreaking ceremony, and that was for their I actually couldn't know. I'm assuming this is near to Bangkok. Is it in the same area as existing developments there?
Yeah, so it's if you're looking at a map of Bangkok, it is kind of, I suppose, southeast-ish. So there's a bit of a cluster there. It's kind of in the same kind of area as ETICS everywhere, as the bridge facility, and as one more, can't remember, but there's a bit of a cluster forming there. And this is a JV, of course, between themselves, Gulf, and AIS, the local telco. I believe Singtel are 35% in this JV. I believe Gulf Energy are 40, Singtel 35, and AIS are 25. So it's, yeah, relatively even split. But yeah, an exciting project in what, again, is a very hot market. I think the plan is that they're going to do 2 20 megawatt buildings for a total capacity of 40 megawatts. Yeah, and I think the aim is that they're looking at a wholesale hyperscale kind of business,
which is, I think, interesting from a Singapore being a state telco. Most of these companies we're seeing selling off assets, but Singapore, or Singtel, I should say, is developing the big campus in Indonesia with Telkom Indonesia, and they're also expanding their the Chuas build. There's a big one, 40 megawatts going on there next to the landing station. So telco is still in the game.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, DBS on their analyst notes continue to give Singtel a buy rating, and one of the things they highlighted was their regional data center expansion. So I just saw that as I was doing up the notes today. So yeah, interesting stuff.
There we go. Well, I just switched to StarHub. Maybe I made a mistake. And the last one, sorry, there's two more, but the last one for Southeast Asia this is PLDT, and there's 2 sites here in. I couldn't find the breakdown, but they're expanding Vitro Makati 2, and I wish you'd say the second one instead of me, but Parañaque 1, and they're expanding those 2 sites, right?
Yeah, a bit of a non-story. This they're basically doing the M&E fit out for these 2 facilities. I think customer demand has been strong, particularly in Makati Vitro 2. That is where one of the hyperscalers have deployed. And I know there's a bit of a ramp up period there. So that could be for that, or it could be for domestic or other wholesale demand. But it's not actually constructing anything new. It's just fitting out that facility. And I think that's the same case in the Parañaque or something. Hard to say. Facilities.
I think I did it better, actually.
Yeah, Parañaque. Anyway, please correct us in the comments again. A lot of corrections. So yeah, not a huge story, but it was widely reported, actually. So I thought worth mentioning as well.
Yeah, they were adding 14 megawatts of capacity, so I guess they'd undeveloped those previously. And you wanted to talk about I2. This is an investment that they're making into the European market.
Yeah, so I think the trend is still more funds and private equity money, etc., still probably flowing from the US or to a lesser extent Europe into Asia, but occasionally it does go the other way. So again, thought this was worth just very quickly mentioning. I2 Capital, who are based in Hong Kong, right?
They're based in Miami.
Oh, based in Miami. Oh,
they're still investing in data centers, so it does qualify for data center news at least.
Yeah, okay. Well, I got that wrong. I thought they were Hong Kong based. Anyway, 500 million to develop edge data centers across Europe. Starting off with I think 10 sites across Germany. These are edge facilities. So thought that was interesting. This is the ISQ Global Infrastructure Fund number 3.
And the biggest news story, of course, is job vacancies at DC Byte. Who you
Yes. No, team continues to grow. I finally adapted our old JD to kind of more accurately reflect what we're doing now. So I think you're going to post the DC news today, Rhys, and I'm going to post that job description. So if you're keen on joining the team here, looking for an analyst, drop me a note. Good for, I suppose, kind of people at the early stages of their career, but got to be hungry, got to be speaking to a lot of people. Fair bit of travel is going to be involved. You get to listen to me every day. But I think it's a great place to be, and it's we're not replacing anyone. We're growing the team. So all going well at DC Byte Asia.
Good to have that on there. Bit of a plug.
Yeah, well, we are a successful company. I want everyone to know that.
Well, we'll leave that. We'll leave that there for the. And I'm not laughing at DC Byte. I'm laughing at the shamelessness of that plug at the end of the news. But anyway, I think happy. No, I've already done the JLL thing, but I will be posting videos of that up this week. We got some footage of answering hot questions on the industry.
Oh, good stuff.
All right. Well, happy Friday, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, see everyone next week.